How you doing, Coach? Nice to see you.
Well, great. Nice seeing you guys.
Tell me, when you go up against a team such as Louisville, that has all that speed, what's the first thing you tell your guys when you get started making preparations at the beginning of the week?
Well, I tell you what, we go against speed every day in practice all the time versus our wide receivers. So those guys understand how to handle speed. And, every game they enjoy challenges. So they're just excited to be able to play the guys from that Louisville has right now.
Archie, what have you seen on film from Cunningham and his ability to push the ball downfield?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's got a really good arm. He's got a lot of velocity on his passes. He's got a good progressional read system that he's able to read through. And he does a good job for him. He's able to have good completion percentages as well. So he's doing a good job for him. He's leading the team well.
What, if anything, changes for your guys because, Cunningham's a pretty mobile guy?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's up front. We've got to know that he will throw the ball on a run, but we got to do a good job bottling him up, closing down some of his rush lanes, as he's reading his progressions, and stay on our guys. Just lock those guys down when he does scramble and understand we're never going to come out of coverage.
Archie, DeMar after the last game talked about the one big play given up to Taj Harris and said that they corrected it quickly. What's some of the things that you guys have worked on this week to make sure that doesn't happen again? Because Pat was talking about on Monday that they've got two receivers that you guys got to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely. You got a receiver by the name of number 122 and Dez Fitzpatrick. Both of those are guys are really good players. I think we just got to continue to do what we're doing. I mean, we're playing with a lot of confidence right now. These guys have played together a lot, so they're able to make adjustments on the field as well as on the sideline. And we know where that error was. Working and playing a lot of confidence and playing well with each other.
Archie, obviously, Marquise is physically able to stand up to these wide receivers. How's he doing in the mental part, playing cornerback, where it's as much of a mental game as it is a physical game sometimes?
I lost you a little bit. Tell me.
I was talking about Marquise Williams. Okay.
Say it again. Like I said, it froze up for a little bit.
And how he's holding up as far as the mental aspect of playing cornerback as opposed to the physical aspect of playing cornerback.
Marquez Williams, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's doing well. I mean, like I said, he's known over the course of the last couple of years. He's got to pick his knowledge up, and I think this year he's shown that. So he's coming in each week, understanding certain things they're trying to get across to him. So it's been good watching him play in practice right now because he's starting to see those little things, which is going to show on Saturdays.
Pat has mentioned about Eric Hallett and how he can kind of play corner and safety. I mean, can you talk about his versatility and, how you guys can use him in so many different ways?
Yeah, well, Hallett's a very smart individual, so we've been it's been a good luxury to have a guy like him to be able to play corner as well as safety. He can make all of the checks. I don't think he's had any issues in regards to playing safety and corner. Move him around a lot in practice, so he's got the ability to adjust in practice. So we have a lot of confidence that he'll be able to do that in the game as well. So he's a trustworthy guy. He's a tough guy, and obviously he's got a lot of good knowledge. So it's a luxury to have a guy like Hallett on our team.
Coach, how unique is that to have those same type of or skill sets where you could play either?
Yeah, that is a unique trait, because everybody can't do it. And he's a guy that can go to the field and the boundary and safety as well. It is a unique trait. Not everybody can do that. But my hat is always off to him. We talk about it all the time for really the last 2 years, for him having the ability to do that. Because, again, it is a unique trait, Jeff.
Archie, do you think Eric could have a role in trying to lock up Tutu this week? I know that he runs pretty much all of his routes out of the slot, and a lot of times that falls on the safeties to take care of. And obviously Eric has that positional versatility.
Yeah, well, that is an option. With that being said, I like DeMar Hamlin as well as Paris Ford back, being able to cover that guy as well. I feel very comfortable in the guys we got on the back end. So I just can't wait to see those guys play. So it'll be a great challenge for us because Tutu is a good player. He's got a lot of good quickness, got a lot of good speed. So we're going to have a lot of fun covering that guy, you know, and as well as Des Fitzpatrick and the guys that they have in the receiving core. So I can't wait for the game Saturday. I really can't wait.
Has DeMar gotten better when you stay in base and he has to cover that slot guy all by himself in space like that? Seems like he's been pretty good so far this year in that role.
He has. I mean, he's been doing it for some time. He's got a lot of experience now, which gives him a lot of confidence. So, you know, he can see a lot in regards to that from having so much experience in game time situations. And so he can change his technique based on the guys in which that he faced week in, week out, which is a good trait to have, you know, again, having all the experience that he has under his belt. Again, it's a good luxury to have a guy like him as well.
Archie, how much confidence do you guys have in Jason with how often you could put him in single coverage and just kind of let him work so that you can sort of emphasize different parts of your defense with everything that you guys are putting on it?
Well, it's good to have a guy like Jason Pinnock. You know, I love what he does every day in practice. He just comes to work every day. You know, he works his tail off. You know, it's inspiring to watch him work at practice. Again, he's flying around there in practice, the same thing that you see on game day, he does in practice day in, day out. With that being said, you know, I think he does a lot of great things fundamentally, as well as good technique that he does in practice, which carries over to the game. So, you know, if you got a guy like him and you got an opportunity to leave him one-on-one, you know, I say go ahead and do it. But he's going to play within a scheme of the defense as well. So he does a great job for us based on the calls, based on the situation, you know, but I'm pleased on where he is so far this year.
Have you seen something different out of Jason with Damari going down? Has he kind of carried himself a little differently now?
Well, I'll tell you what, those Damari as well as Jason Pinnock were good leaders on the team, and they fed off each other. They kept each other going. And Mathis has been at practice, been able to talk to the guys, you know, throughout practice as well. But Jason Pinnock has stepped his game up even more. You know, he understands in which that because, again, like we talked about with Hamlin, having so much experience, you know, during game time experience, him having the same game time experience, you know, he understands how important practice is. He understands how to approach each day. He understands how to approach each game, you know, as far as seeing the little things on film and being able to diagnose that during the game. And again, like I said, those guys have played together for, you know, some time now, so they can kind of react off each other with that being said.
Archie, what does it allow a defense to do when you have this type of experience in the secondary?
Again, feed off each other. You know, and most importantly is throughout the game, understand how a team's trying to attack us, understand how to adjust on the sideline, which is very important within any game, understanding the check system in which that we have at our disposal based on what the team is doing to us to be able to change each game and during the game. Not always having to wait to halftime to make some adjustments. You know, just, again, knowing the defense in and out.
Any final questions for Coach Collins?
Real quick, Archie, as a coach, as a secondary coach, what was it like the day you found out that Paris and DeMar were coming back for the 2020 season? How'd you feel that
I'll
day?
tell you what, I was excited. See the big smile on my face right now. You know, it's fun watching those guys work every day. You know, so we're excited when both of those guys decided to come back. And now we got to show it. We got to show all the experience that we have coming back in that regard and make plays. Like I said, and that's what we're going to continue to do week in, week out. We got to make plays through great fundamentals, great technique, great communication, and playing with a lot of doggone toughness. That's what you're going to see from us.